Hello everyone present here virtually. I am Rutuja here and welcome you all for today's session, which is titled as Opportunities in Hospitality Industry and Beyond. And presenting this session, we have with us our today's expert, Shailendra Kumar Rai. Shailendra Kumar Rai, he is currently working as Assistant Professor, Academic Coordinator, Department of Hospitality and Hotel Administration, Assam Don Bosco University, Guwahati, Assam, India. He having 10 years of blended experience in industry and academics, and he written a book for hospitality student, few chapters and 13 research papers. He has awarded with Best Research Scholar and National Education Excellence Achievers Award. You can start now, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for nice introduction. Good afternoon, everyone present here. As introduced by ma'am, myself Shailendra Kumar Rai, and I'm working here in Assam Don Bosco University. Our today's topic is opportunities in hospitality industry and beyond. When we talk about hospitality industry, how we can understand or how we can explain the industry, it is about the service, it is about making the people realize that they are at their home while they are staying or while they are visiting somewhere other than their place. And as our topic is about the industry opportunities or job opportunities in industry and beyond the industry. But before that, we should understand that what is the future of hospitality industry, so that we can assume that how we can get a job opportunity in industry. So what is shaping the future of the hospitality industry? There is something that we can all agree upon, and this is the vast and unforeseen impact that the COVID-19 crisis had on all our lives. The hospitality, travel, and tourism sectors have been hit hard, but we can't ignore the impact on society. Consumer behavior and eventually consumer spending have been and will continue to be altered, and business plans need to adapt to these new circumstances. So before this COVID-19 pandemic, the industry was something else. The people were visiting all those hotels, restaurants, or bars very frequently without any hesitation. But now, when they step out from their houses, from their home to visit any restaurant, or bar, or hotel, then they think that there may be some chances that they will be caught by COVID-19 virus, being it any kind of virus. The hospitality, travel, and tourism sectors has also been hit hard, and its impact on consumer behavior has also been changed. So, mid of all those things, we may need to learn something advanced, something extra than we are learning previously. We consider whether the changes will be we consider whether the changes will be permanent or just temporary, because we know that we are going through, we cannot come out totally from that fear of pandemic. So we are going through that changes, we are acting with some caution, and we don't know whether it will be permanent or it is just temporary. Whatever the final outcome, those businesses willing to consider alternative scenarios and reconsider their planning strategy will be better prepared for the new future. The coronavirus pandemic will remain in our collective memory for generations to come due to its devastating impact at different levels on the global economy. With continuing With continuing government assistance and the support of financial institutions, commerce will continue to push forward and get beyond the crisis. Overcoming economic crisis is not a new thing. Where there is a will, there is a way. However, there is another important element that all companies, in particular those linked to the service sector, and when we say service sector, is it majorly comes to hospitality industry. So those companies who are linked to the service sector will need to manage as business and commerce deal with the post-COVID world. The social aspect, we must all now adapt to new rules, standards, and values which have and will continue to influence all social behavior and hence our behavior as a consumers, especially as consumers of travel and tourism services. So after COVID, pre-COVID and post-COVID, there will be two phases of our life. Pre-COVID, we were very casual, we were very, I can say, very normal in our etiquettes, in our behavior. We were less worried about sanitization and hygiene. But post-COVID, we are more concerned about hygiene, more concerned about sanitization whenever, wherever we are visiting. Hence, our behavior as consumers, especially as consumers of travel and tourism service industry, will change, will influenced by COVID. The closure of boundaries, lockdown measures, and travel restrictions have been forced the hospitality sector to live through its worst results in recent history. Financial loss and hotel closures have been all too commonplace, creating a level of uncertainty that most have never experienced. That most have never experienced, but we must force ourselves to look ahead and get ready to confront the new environment that is emerging. It won't be easy nor swift, but the industry has often shown its resilience and capacity to rebound from unexpected scenarios and is blessed with a solid backbone. The question that arises now is how to adapt to the factors that are shaping the future of the hospitality industry. A very well said quote by Henry David Thoreau is never look back unless you are planning to go the way that way. It means if you are planning to go ahead, don't look back. If we are planning to go back, then only you should look back. When we talk about evolving behavior or habits of consumer post-COVID, the first behavioral habit is concerned about health and safety. Consumers will pay more attention to the different security, hygiene, and health procedures that establishments are implementing. Google searches related to health terms in the last year have increased considerably, reaching peaks in March 2020 and January 2021. In order to gain the confidence of consumers, forms will need to be both transparent and reliable. So everyone who is visiting to the restaurant, hotels, or bars are more concerned about their health and their safety. So to ensure those customers, to ensure those consumers, hospitality sector should ensure, should be more reliable or should be more trustworthy, transparent with their customer that they are thinking, they are caring about their health and safety while they are visiting to them. The second changes, or we can say evolution in behavioral habit, can be the wellness. The United Nations has emphasized the importance of mental health and well-being. Uh, you may have noticed, or I have been noticed, that there are several people who are not really caught with the virus, not very affected with the virus, but they are mentally worried. They are mentally caught with the phobia of that virus. So, to take care of that mental health, particularly given the extreme scenarios of isolation and loneliness derived from lockdowns, the industry, hospitality sector, or service sector should enhance their touchability, should enhance their careness of their guests, their customers. Many of us will be placing a special emphasis on our wellness and well-being, such as in-house exercise and sports, fresh and organic food, nutrition, self-care, regular medical checkups, etc. So, other than the hospitality industry, we ourselves should also look after our well-being, our wellness, and that can be in the way of exercises, sports, fresh and organic foods, some extra nutritious foods, self-care, and getting regular medical checkups. The third evolution or changes in behavior or habit we can say is consumption and spending. Before pandemic, before COVID, we were spending much, we were not thinking much about consumption and spending, but post COVID, we have to take care, we have to have some, I can say, caution money with us so that we can meet with our medical expenses if it happens suddenly. And many consumers will be prioritizing expenditure on basic products and will focus on leisure goods due to decreased purchasing power as a consequence of rise in unemployment. The major consequence of that COVID is unemployment, and because of that unemployment and concern about health or concern about the budget, many people, many consumers will prioritize that they will buy only basic products, they'll have only basic products which they are really in need of, and they can avoid or they'll avail the leisure goods or leisure services or very few often. Consumers will opt for better quality products or known brands, as there are many brands or many products for same composition, for same salt, if you go for medicines. But when we talk about consumers' priority, consumers' choice, they'll try to get the products from known brands or from reliable brands. There will also be more pre-planning and less spontaneous purchasing. So earlier, when we visit any market, when we visit any shopping complex, we used to purchase the things even without thinking that we really need it or not. But post-COVID, the consumers are thinking about pre-planning, they are planning about their budget, their expenses, and became very less spontaneous in purchasing. The next evolution is major, being it any sector, being it service sector or manufacturing sector, that is digitalization. Online webinars and meetings, as well as usage of platforms for teleworking, are now fundamental components of our working habits. Home delivery services, contactless payments, medical appointments through video conference, online purchasing, or even the development of a COVID radar app all point to go towards an accelerated era of digitalization. So when we talk about digitalization, we are, for example, this webinar, earlier we were used to gather at one place in a hall, in a conference hall or seminar hall, and then we discuss about those topics, those titles. But nowadays we have moved to our digital era and we are doing it as a video conferencing. Home delivery services have started and they are trying to get contactless delivery services or contactless payments. There are medical appointments through video calling, through video conferencing. Online purchases have increased. Even the development of a COVID radar app in our country, that is CoWIN or Arogya Setu, or many states have developed some COVID radar apps, and all point towards an accelerated era of digitalization. The next evolution is remote working. Before pandemic, before COVID era, very few of us were aware about remote working or work from home culture. But after pandemic, after COVID era, the sanitary crisis has forced many business businesses to implement telework as part of their new procedures. Many companies who are IT based, who can work with their network, with computer and internet, they are suggesting the employees are still very many more companies are there who are allowing their employees, their staff to work from home. In most cases, remote working has been efficient and productive both for the employee and the employer. In many cases, for example, if they have to call the employees to their premises in their organization, then they have to bear electricity charges, they have to bear transport charges, and this is for both employee and employer. But when we talk about remote working or work from home, this has been productive. We can say this has been very financially sounding for both employee and employers. On the positive side, employees believe some of the benefits of teleworking include, but are not limited to, reduced stress. Sometimes, if we have to work for a company and we have to visit that company and have to stay there from 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 or whatever timing is, then we cannot manage our life or personal life. But when we are working remote, when we are working from home, then we can get 10 to 5, 10 to 15 minutes or 30 minutes for our personal life, and we can manage some works of ours as well. So work-life balance has been optimized, flexible time schedules. We can we get some assignment, we get some task to perform in a day, and after that performance, we need to work for that specific assignment, and we can take our time whether we start 6 in morning or we start 12 in noon or in evening, but we have to complete that task at that day. So we got flexible time schedules and commuting time savings. Employers is, and the second part is commuting those places to and fro. For example, if we are staying 15 kilometers away from our company or organization, then we have to commute there, and it may take 1 hour to go and 1 hour to come back because of traffic. So these 2 hours can be saved by doing remote work or work from home. Employers have also noticed better productivity, reduced cost associated with physical offices, decreased staff absenteeism. As we don't have to report to our office, to our organization, then there are very less chances to be absent, to get leave, and better use of technologies. And because of remote working, everyone is using their technology, being it phone, laptop, or any network very well. As teleworking has proven to be successful, it looks like many organizations will maintain this concept as a definite or hybrid alternative for workers. So, as remote working or teleworking has proven that it is successful for many industry, so we believe that many, being it service sector or any other technological sector, they can maintain that remote working or hybrid alternative. You may be wondering that how it is possible in service sector. So I can give an example of Swiggy. Their employees who are at managerial level or executive levels who don't have to deliver the products, they are working from home, and it is allowed to them till March 2023. That is one more year to go, and they are working since last 2 years. So these 3 years they are working as remote working or work from home. And sixth evolution is in tourism or travel industry. According to a survey undertaken by Booking.com, that is a site, a portal through which we can book the hotel or any transportation services. Travel restrictions during this crisis have led to new way of looking at travel and tourism by consumers. Some of the emerging trends when considering travel activities include greener destination trips closer to home, leading to an increased use of private transport, the possibility of working remotely, and rural tourism. So, because of those restrictions, many of us were not even not thinking about our local tourism, our local spots where we can visit. But after this restriction, we have explored those destinations which are closer where we can commute with our private transport, and the possibility of working remotely and in rural tourism has been opened. The next is sustainability. Before the pandemic, sustainability was already a key topic addressed by individuals, companies, and worldwide organizations such as the United Nations. Consumers' behavior will be more oriented towards reduced and conscious consumption and minimal waste. Sustainable products, responsible brands, eco-friendly policies, ecological products, and environmental concern will gain greater interest in the future. So before pandemic, we were talking about sustainability, but we many organization has never taken it very seriously. But when pandemic came and destroyed very badly all those service sectors or market, then they think that there should be some plan, and we should think about sustainability, and then they think about consumer behavior, about orientation towards their consumption or minimal waste. Then they think about those products which can be sustainable, which can be responsible, and which can be eco-friendly or ecological products in concern with environment. So this was all about industry, how they are impacted and how they can recover, what all they are planning to. And the next is about our major topic, that is career, how we can make a career in hospitality industry. As we all know that there are several courses for hotel management, aviation, or tourism courses, being a diploma, degree, or masters. But they are very regular courses, and we are doing it since 30 or 40 years. Then what is new for post COVID era? So we need to upskill. We may have our degree, we may have our diploma, or we may have our postgraduate in hotel management or tourism or aviation. But to upskill, we need to do something extra. And after a hard year of business, the hospitality industry is heading towards a recovery, which is expected to begin in earnest midway through the year. So after 2 years of hard hit, we are expecting that this this year by July or August, we will be recovering well. We are already moving in the way of recovering. This year is going to be an important year for hospitality professionals worldwide, as many companies have fired or have expelled their employees because of less business, or they have to shut down their business. But this year is going to be an important year for those employees, those professionals who are working in hospitality sector. After a hard year of business and staff, the hospitality industry is heading towards a recovery which is expected to begin in earnest midway through the year. Stay caution and local domestic tourism will continue to define the market until international borders completely reopen. For as they are opening, there are majorly they have opened their international borders, but there are some restrictions for few countries, and we are assuming, we are believing that it will open totally by mid of this year, within next 2 3 months. For hospitality professionals who want to get back to work, now is the perfect time to study, upskill, and get prepared for hospitality career in the post-pandemic future. As we know that those who got fired last 2 years, and those who got their degree, their diploma, or who got themselves prepared for the job, it means there will be twice, twice competition than earlier years, than before 2020. So if there was 10 people for one position before 2020, then there will be 20 people for one position in 2022. So to meet those expectations or make us better than others, we need to get some upskill, or we need to get prepared well for hospitality career in post-pandemic future. So how we can, or what all skills we may need for a post-COVID-19 hospitality career. So in hospitality career, we may need some extra skilling, and that can be hospitality will always require professional who excel in skills that form the backbone of the industry, such as customer service, culinary, food and beverage, or management skills. But these courses are already there. Those who are working, or those who are working in hotels or hospitality sector, were either known to customer service, being in front office, F&B service, or were working in culinary, or working in HR or accounts or sales or purchase team. But after COVID-19, we may need, or those professionals who were fired last year may need to upskill them, to need to excel in their job so that they can get a better opportunity to get hired in better organization. These skills are particularly in demand among professionals right now and will continue to be so going into the future. Make sure that you are setting up yourself up with the most desirable and in demand skill sets for hospitality in 2020 and beyond. So you may be a better chef, you may be a better receptionist, you may be a better captain for food and beverage service, or barman, or bartender, or butler. But after COVID-19, you need to have some extra skill which is in demand, and that skill we can name as leadership. The days of hotel managers, so when we talk about upskilling, the first one can be leadership, and when we talk about leadership, we may have been working as an employee, but after this pandemic, we have to work as manager as well, as a leader as well, and the days of hotel managers are away in back office are over. They'll need to be multifaceted. It means earlier, if someone has got hired as a manager for any department, then they, what they do is they go to their office and they sit back till the last moment of their shift. But now the time is over for that back office. They will need to be multifaceted. even more present throughout the hotel, taking care of guests and staff, mobilizing their teams, coaching, teaching, and leading by example. So all those employees who are hired as manager, they need to visit or they need to roam around the hotel. They need to meet their guests, their staff. Whenever they find that there is something which the staff is lacking, they need to coach them, they need to teach them. And sometimes they may need to work uh, beside that employee, that is staff, so that he can show, he can demonstrate that how it can be done in a better way. Looking back at 2020, it's become clear to analysts that leadership played a big part in determining whether a hospitality business would survive the crisis. So if a leadership will be there, then only we can motivate our staff, then only we can make our guests, our consumers feel safe or feel that no, they are being taken care of. Good leadership during the pandemic meant acting swiftly, planning long term, developing creating creative solutions, taking social distancing seriously, taking care of employees, innovative, being charitable, and socially responsible, and communicating honestly and empathetically with the staff, stakeholders, and customers. Arne Sorensen, the CEO of Marriott International, provided an inspiring examples of hospitality leadership through a crisis in 2020 with his direct, empathetic communication and effective management. Luckily, you can learn to be a leader, and there are a number of fantastic courses in leadership out there. So, when we talk about hospitality, there are several courses. There is Hyatt, there is Marriott, there is Taj, Oberoi, and they are running various leadership courses. So simply, if you have done your bachelor, if you have done your degree or PG in hotel management or aviation or tourism, then in addition to that degree or course, you need to learn leadership. And those leadership programs are being run by various hotel chains. Most hospitality management courses offer a range of leadership topics, while some courses, such as the Bachelor of Hospitality Management at many universities, are some are offering, some are not offering. But when we talk about university, they can give you some basic ideas of leadership. But when we have to learn with practical knowledge of leadership, then we have to go or we have to join some hotels and their leadership programs. Universities not only they deliver leadership but are also specifically designed to equip you with the skills to effectively respond and manage crisis situations. So there are specific classes and there are specific sessions where you can learn how to tackle the situations, being it a crisis situation, being it any hectic situation, or if there is any threat of bomb, there is any threat of fire, then how you can tackle those things. They teach, they guide, or they coach in their specific programs, and they name it with various uh, nomenclatures. If we talk about Oberoi, they call it OCLD. If we talk about Hyatt, they call it CLT, that is leader, corporate leadership training. If we talk about TAS, they call it MT, or Welcome Group, they call it MT, that is management training. Various hotels are providing this kind of leadership training and they are naming it as their own, but are also specifically designed to equip you with the skills to effectively respond and to manage crisis situations. The second thing which we may need to get better job or to ensure that we'll grab a job after post-COVID era is soft skills. We know how to get a job, but we got a job pre-COVID. After COVID, we need to get upskilled ourselves. And the second upskilling can be soft skills. So first one was leadership. Leadership is one of a whole spectrum of soft skilling. And when we talk about soft skills, post-corona hospitality industry needs very much. It is going to continue to be in high demand in the post-corona hospitality industry. These includes skills such as critical thinking. Uh, There are various consumers, there are various guests in hotels, and someone may be very soft, someone may be very harsh in speaking, someone may get angry very easily, someone may not get angry very easily, or someone may be allergic to any specific food or any specific thing. So we have to think critically that how we can tackle all those things whenever such situation arises. Then innovation should be there. We know simple things. There are SOPs, standard operating procedures of every hotel, and we can read those SOPs and we can work accordingly. But to make someone happy, to make someone feel that they are being cared, we need to do some innovative things so that their child can amuse, so that their family persons can amuse. Creative problem solving. As I said earlier, that there are several guests who someone may get very angry very quickly, someone may not get angry, and someone may have some allergic situations. Then how we can solve those problems? In problem solving, we need to be creative because even sometimes we may know that I'm right, but we have to be creative in saying that I am right. We we don't say that you are wrong. We don't say that no, we are not able to. So for saying that no, or for saying that you are wrong and I'm right, there are some creative ways, there are some creative sentences that we have to learn. Flexibility and adaptability. We have to be, we should have flexible, when it time. Sometime hotel may call you in morning, sometime in afternoon, sometime in evening. So you need to be flexible and you should be adaptable. Whatever situation, whatever time they are calling, you need to be ready. If you are willing to get a better job in better hotel post COVID era. Communication and emotional intelligence. We know we should know how to tackle a person who is angry, who is getting some services after their promised time. For example, if there are any guests or there are a person who is asking for water or any other thing which can be solved in a hotel, and expected time is 2 minutes or 3 minutes, but you are getting late by 2 or 3 more minutes, then you should communicate that thing, that this was the reason, that is why I got late. And if there was some situation that is panicking for the guest or for consumer, then you should use your emotional intelligence. Then next can be self-awareness and self-management. You should aware about all those things which are going in your surrounding, and you should be also aware about how to manage those situations. Negotiation and relationship management. You may be in purchase team, or you may be in marketing team, or you may be in any other section of a hotel or hospitality industry. You should be well in negotiation, and you should be well in personal relationship management. In fact, this is not a new trend, but it has been accelerated by the crisis. In 2016, 72% of CEOs surveyed in the hospitality and tourism industry agreed that soft skills are more important to the success of their business than hard skills. Hospitality staff who can adapt fast, think critically, listen well, and empathize with customers and their teams will be more imperative now than ever before. This is not just because of the pandemic, this trend is also shaped by changes in social values. Values such as trust, empathy, sustainability, authenticity, and social responsibilities as are now more important to consumers than they used to be. I would especially advise any hospitality professional aiming for management position to study topics such as crisis management, strategic planning, sustainability, innovation, cultural awareness, and communication. I would highlight this cultural awareness in hospitality industry. We should know that who is coming from which culture and which kind of food or which kind of amusement they may need or they may be happy to avail that. These transferable soft skills will serve you well your whole career, whether you stay in hospitality or move into another industry. So, talking about these soft skills, critical thinking, innovation, creative problem solving, flexibility and adaptability, communication and emotional intelligence, self awareness and self management, negotiation and relationship management. These are transferable soft skills. You need it in your personal life, in your career, being in hospitality industry or any other industry. Then third, a skill which we need post-COVID era is social media. The explosion of social media during the pandemic has been well documented. The average amount of time people spend on social media in Asia has grown by estimates of 30%. Pre-COVID, we got multiple works, we have to rush here and there. So we were getting less time to visit our social media pages. But post-COVID or during COVID, we were sitting at home and now we are being habituated to visit our social media pages or post, and that has been grown by 30%, or maybe it has been more in past year alone, that is in 2021 and 2022. Many of these social media users are looking for advice on their favorite platforms when making decision about dining or travel. So when we visit our social media pages, we may find that there are some suggestions that where we can dine or where we can travel. Our friends who are joined with our in our social media pages, they can suggest or we may ask them to suggest some good place to dine or travel. That is why we need to learn how to manage or how to promote our business or our department or organization on social media. And that skill can be add on to our hard skill or previously learned skill, and it will enhance the chances of getting hired. Recent social media uses data shows that travel destination 60 and hospitality venues are among the most looked up brands. You can be sure that now and in the future, social media will only continue to grow in importance for your hospitality business, not just for branding, messaging, and marketing, but also for assuring customers of your self practicing, gathering data, and engaging with new audiences. If you decide to upskill and become a social media specialist for hospitality business, you will most definitely be in demand in the new economy. The fourth is digital technologies and AI. From contactless check-in system and AI-generated holidays packages, hospitality businesses have turned towards digital solutions during the pandemic, and that trend is here to stay. Here are a few of the technologies we can expect to see continuing to play a role in the hospitality and tourism industry for the coming years. And that is food delivery apps that has been doubled when we talk about early 2020 and now. digital rooms key and contactless check-in systems in hotels, automated revenue management systems, touchless digital menus in restaurants, digital events and conferences are booming, big data and artificial intelligence data analysis. If your passion and experience lies in hospitality, but you have got an interest in tech, then you might cover investing in a digital skill set and using it to implement hospitality solutions. For example, you could become a social media manager specializing in hospitality brands. There is a significant digital skill gap in the current hospitality industry. So you will almost certainly be in demand as soon as you graduate. Then the last skill set which we need to upskill is sanitization. Earlier when we talk about housekeeping and cleaning, earlier we were doing that housekeeping services, that cleaning services, but post-pandemic, the housekeeping and cleaning staff became frontline workers. They need to visit all those areas before anyone comes, before anyone check-ins and post their checkout. Even when social distancing and sanitization regulations are no longer in place, customers will still demand higher level of hygiene than before the pandemic. They will need to be convinced that your business is squeaky clean before they feel safe enough to return. If you have not already been put into a sanitation role during the pandemic, it's not a bad idea for you to now level up your understanding of sanitization, coronavirus safety, and the new high standards of housekeeping. Although it may seem like a daunting year to enter the industry, remember that all periods of disruption bring new opportunities. It's the ideal time to set yourself up for a new career direction, learn some in demand skills, and prepare for your resilient industry that will come back more vibrant than ever. This was all from my side, and I believe this would help you all to get a better job or to get a job if you are looking for a job in current era of hospitality industry.
Thank you so much for this very informative session. If anyone has any question, you can ask. Thank you so much all the participants for your active participation. Let me inform to all that this complete session will be available on our Research Circle YouTube channel. So if you want to watch it again or want to share it to somebody, please do visit the Research Circle YouTube channel. And last but not the least, thank you, Dr. Shailesh Kumar Rai, for taking out the time for a session. With your permission, I would like to end today's session here. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.